Welcome to Hooks Outdoors. This is a special part one of we're not sure how many parts for my scouts out there. It's Scout Hobo Camp time. So come on, let's go. Follow me. So here's some of the things you're going to need for our project. You're going to need some number 36 bank line, some little over 1 inch piece of tree, preferably green, a branch, all cleaned off, and then a second one about 1 inch. Make sure they're about 4 feet to do the complete project. Some leather safety gloves, your knife. It might help to have a thumper or a mallet, your tree saw, and then over here I've got some just some cordage I grabbed out of my garage, out of my cordage box. That happens to be some 3/8 rope. I like the color. It's not paracord. It's just something that was in my cordage box. My hatchet, which is on the stump. You may want your hatchet, you may not. Okay? We're going to make a Roycraft frame, but to give you an idea, this is a full frame that I made a little over a year ago. And we're going to make a Roycraft today, so let's get started. Okay, so the larger diameter, the one that's a little over 1 inch in diameter stick, I like to use this for the base. Your Roycraft is going to be 3 pieces in a triangle, okay? I like to use the larger piece for my base. So to get the measurement for that, what you do is you're going to place it under your armpit. You're going to reach out, and where your middle finger touches, that's where we're going to cut it, okay? So we're going to make a mark right there, and that's where we're going to cut it. That's going to be the bottom or the base of our Roycraft. Now that should be more than plenty long, and if we need to trim it, we can at the end. So let's go ahead and cut this. We've got our saw out, our safety gloves are on. There's our mark. Okay, there's our first cut. Okay, for our next 2 pieces that are going to be the top of the triangle, we're going to use the smaller of the 2. Okay, so those pieces, those armpit to the center of your palm, of my palm and my hand to mark it. Okay, that's going to give us plenty of length. Another way you can measure it is stand up and go like this. You want the top of it when it's on your back at about your neck, and you know your base is going to be a little above or right near your belt line. Okay, hold it at an angle because it's going to go diagonal, both of them. All right, so let's go ahead and cut those. Okay, so now I'm going to show you on the table how we're going to go about putting this together in the next couple steps. So we're going to end up with this triangle. So up here we're going to make 2 flats to put it together. And then down here, it's going to be very similar to a dado joint on both of those. Dado joint, if you're familiar with woodworking, okay? I'll show you. Don't get nervous. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to mark it out the way it is, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to take my knife, and let me see if I can get you better focused. So where this diagonal comes in, I'm going to mark right here along the side, right here along the side. Now you got to mark this one in the direction that we're laying. This one, this side. You want it even parallel with the bottom stick this way. You want it parallel with this stick this way, and you mark here. You want a little of this stick overhanging the bottom of your base. We're going to mark those. Up here we're going to do the marks, and we'll go from there. Same way all the way around. So over here on this side, let's see if I can do this better. Excuse me for not having a very good system laid out here. So parallel, make a mark, parallel, make a mark, parallel to this stick, make a mark, okay? Now up here, we're gonna make a mark parallel this way, make a mark parallel this way. Up here, we're gonna go down halfway and split on the bottom half, same way on this half for the overlap. Hopefully, whoops. So when you're finished, this is what it's gonna look like. See, we've taken half of the top, okay, and we've made this joint here. All right, simply all done with our saw and our Mora knife. And see, when it's green, it works so much easier. Make sure you use a green branch, okay? So let's go on to the next one. So this is the diagonal branch. Not sure if you can see the marks from my knife there and there. So we're only going to go close to halfway of the depth. So following my parallel mark from my knife, I'm cutting with the saw, okay, going near the halfway mark or thickness. Now, make yourself several of these tiny slices. And I'm going to show you why in a moment. If you can, when you use these saws, be careful. This is a silky. I recommend the silky. It's not necessary. You can use lesser expensive saws. Okay, now here we go. We're going to take our Mora knife, and can you see these? See all of our saw marks here? We're about halfway through. Now watch. We're going to take a knife and just push through while it's green. And I should have folded my saw for safety. Okay, so see there, each one of those little cuts we made helps us work as a stop cut. We get down here, do a little clean out there. Okay, now we've got this one to do, so we're just gonna put our stick the opposite way, down lower, whether it be on the ground or up here. I'm going to be out of the camera for a moment. It'll work better. Trust me, the cleaner you make your joint. What do you think? That turned out pretty nice. Now, I have to do the top. Okay, now on this one, hang on a moment. I have my mark. We're going to take our saw, again, approximately halfway in that area, and this is an important stop cut. So now I'm gonna have to raise you up a little bit so you can see how this works. Okay, so here's our cut. All right, so now we need to put our knife up at the top, at the halfway point. I like to kind of rock it by hand when it's green because it starts in real easy. And as long as you have your safety gloves on, you're fine. Then give it some taps. This is called patoning. Be very careful when you do that. Okay, and there you go. All right, so here's how you do a simple jam knot. First thing you want to do is just tie a quick overhand knot up here. Just a real quick overhand knot, just to give you something to grab onto, okay? Now you're going to come down here and you're going to start like you're going to tie. All right? then bring your other end through that hole. Okay? Now you got this big loop. We're going to go around. We're going to tighten things up now on here. And it's going to slide right down. Okay? Here's that knot that we tied for a stopper and a holding knot. And we're just going to, let me move this out of the way. We're just going to crank this right down when you grab the correct side. Okay. Tie this up. I'm trying to do it so you can see, and I'm not left-handed. And there you go, okay? Now, when you get that tight, the knot that you left here, you're going to put a stopper knot down here so it doesn't slip, okay? Just like that. Let me show you what I did here. Is I did a double jam knot, or Canadian jam knot, Canadian knot, up here at the top. Okay, there's lots of videos out there on YouTube on how to tie them. I suggest Blackie Thomas or Corporal's Corner. Those guys show it the best. And then that's what I did on the bottoms, okay? Just crisscross applesauce. Now, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to finish our pack off before part 2, where we're going to show you how to load it, okay? Sorry, this is, well, you're not seeing how long it's taking because I've been cutting out parts because I've messed up a lot. I screwed up 3 sticks cutting because I cut them wrong. Make sure you have plenty of sticks. I messed them up big time. These aren't perfect like I wanted, and time's getting away from me, so that instead of lashing, I'm just doing jam knots. I also know that this wood is so green, the water's coming out of it, it's going to shrink. Even if I lash it, I'm going to have to redo it when I get ready to use it. So, which, well, hopefully not. But anyway, either way, this is what's going on behind the scenes on top of finger cutting. I cut them deep. They're bleeding good. It's okay. I'll be fine. Crazy stuff. Let me get this last 2 crisscross, double cross, jam knot thing done. I'm not good with knots. Let me get it done and then show you how we're going to finish it up. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we finally got the crisscross, applesauce, jam knots done on the last one. You can see here, they're done. All right, so now you see how this back piece is here and these are on top. That's how it's going to go against your back, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach our red rope that I showed you earlier on here. All right, so this red rope is approximately 12 feet long. We're going to find the middle. So find your 2 ends, hold them till you find that middle, okay? All right, so this, like I said, on this particular frame, this stick should be on this side away from you and your back here, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring, see how I brought that in through here, and then bring these 2 all the way out, okay? Now you're just going to pull that snug, and it's going to look like this, okay? Now you're going to take this, you're going to go around your back like so. All right, Now you take and you put these over your shoulders. Now watch, this is the cool part. Remember how we left that stick out long on both sides? You're going to go back and around. And the first time you do it, you may have to have somebody help you, and that's okay. Alright. Then you're going to go the other side. You're going to do the same thing. Okay. Now you got both sides, see that? Now, bring it to the front. Tie it just like tying your shoe. Okay. Now I take the extra. I like to leave things long because you can use this rope for other stuff. When you get to camp, just tuck the extra right there. Now look, you got your backpack frame right there. All right. So you did a great job. When we get to part 2, I'm going to show you how we take our tarp, put our gear in it, and pack it properly on our new Roycraft frame. Thanks for joining me today. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Before I say it though, do me a bigger favor. Hit the like, subscribe, the bell if you like this kind of content. Hey Scouts, Hobo Camp part 1 is done now. Get ready for part 2. Alright, it's what I promised you this weekend. Don't forget what I'm going to tell you. Adults, take a kid outdoors this week. Thanks for joining me. This is Hook. Enjoy the outdoors.